Welcome to the Inspiration and Innovation Hour, brought to you by Inspirational by Design. I'm your host, Shannon Scandoza. Thank you for joining me today. As a disclaimer, we are not being paid, nor are we paying others to promote products and services used in these segments. Each month, we'll highlight and discuss inspirational stories, people, and experiences within the healthcare field. I'll bring on guest speakers to talk about their work, their impact in the field or community, and their personal journeys. We'll also discuss exciting innovation ideas and how our guests are implementing and utilizing them to advance health science. Later, I'll host a DIY corner where I will demonstrate the newest educational technology learning modalities for your classroom, clinic, or lab space. So don't scroll past or hit that back button. We've got a great show for you with some incredible guest speakers and EdTech play you won't want to miss. Stay tuned after this commercial break.
Inspirational by Design and Breakaway Games are partnering to bring the best in virtual clinical simulation training through live simulated patients and game simulator technology. Create a customized course for your classroom, clinic, or lab space. Empower your learners by setting the stage and enacting a real patient case with a live simulated patient. Continue independent practice by completing skills and knowledge challenges on the compatible case in a game simulator. And end the experience with evidence-based written and verbal feedback. Collect scores and reports to upload into your LMS grade reporting software. It's as simple as that. Need more time to play? Hop on over to the AIM EdTech Lab, a free discover and play site for healthcare learners, faculty, and simulation educators. Practice with the newest in AI, AR, VR, game simulators, patient communication, and so much more. What are you waiting for? Contact Inspirational by Design, and let's start planning your course today.
And welcome back. Today's inspiration and innovation topic is dedicated to Autism Awareness Month, and I'm so inspired by our guest and their story. Please welcome Dr. Paula Danquah-Brobby, they. Dr. Paula is a behavior scientist, international psychologist, and associate dean with more than 20 years of experience supporting individuals with neurodevelopmental disabilities. Her work spans clinical practice, academia, and global systems building, all focused on creating more equitable and culturally responsive care. She's also the founder of NeuroFusion Global and NeuroFusion Village, a first of its kind national ecosystem co-created with neurodivergent advisors that connects families, individuals, educators, and professionals to trusted resources, service navigation, and learning across the lifespan, while keeping access free for the public and sustaining impact through professional education and training. Wow, that's incredible. We are so honored to have you here today, Dr. Paula. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role within the field of healthcare?
Sure. I have and thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me here today, Shannon. My background, I have a very eclectic background. My path through my professional, or I should say my professional journey has been very circuitous. As you stated in my bio, my background is in behavior analysis, culture behavior science, international psychology, it's going to be a mouthful, access, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and neurodevelopmental disability treatment training and in consulting. The consulting work was both in the US and in low and middle income countries like my country, Ghana. I did my dissertation research in Ghana a while back, and I just learned that there are so many folks in low and middle income countries that just don't have access to services, resources, opportunities that are part of the neurodevelopmental disability or NDD population. And between that and my work in other countries, mostly the Middle East and North Africa, I became very, very vigilant in advocating for those who don't have the same access that we do in high income countries. And so, in addition to that, earlier in my career, I was trained in psychodiagnostics and conducted neuropsychological assessments for both children and adults. I worked at the Kennedy Krieger Institute Center for Autism and Related Disorders and developed their program or a program called Therapeutic Interventions and Parenting Strategies Tips. And that was for our long distance and our international families. And that's what really propelled me into doing international work. I have a undergraduate degree in English literature and minored in French. I studied abroad in France. However, my master's is in clinical psych and my doctorate is in international psychology, and I'm certified as a board certified behavior analyst. I've been a department chair. As you said, I am associate dean right now. So I am just, my hands are in many pots, and I like it like that. But that's a little bit about me.
I love that. And there's so much like experience and rich just life that you've lived already to this point. And I'm so excited to learn more. Is there a specific like area or discipline that you focused on in your work?
Yes, the area I really focused on is behavior science or applied behavior analysis and international psychology. Within the umbrella of behavior science is cultural behavior science, where we're looking at cultural levels of selection. So looking more at systems and social groups as opposed to the individual. And I bring a lot of that into the work that I do as the Associate Dean of Access, Belonging, and Community Engagement at the university that I'm at right now, and really focusing on access, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and belonging. So, ABA is where I started, and international psychology because I was doing international work and wanted to learn more about how we can create, develop, and implement culturally relevant, culturally responsive, aware, sensitive, and humble treatment intervention programs, consulting, working with families abroad, and what have you. And amazingly, I don't know why I say amazingly, because I was going into the program thinking one thing and came out just completely in awe. But we can't transport and test, and that uh, uh, also extends to technology. You know, we cannot transport and test. We need to, work with the local folks there and see and understand and educate ourselves about their culture and design programs and technology that is applicable to their environment and to their cultural practices.
I love that. And that is 100% so important. Again, when we're talking about really reaching out and expanding those global borders and being understanding and being aware and being invested in other cultures, in their metrics and how we're assessing and how we are doing those things, right? Because
Mhm.
again, what suits us here is not going to suit somebody else. So finding that those mediums everywhere has got to
Mhm.
be a lot of work. So can you tell us a little bit more about how you or your institution are driving that impact or change in the community?
Sure. So, a big part of my work is about expanding access to services, resources, opportunities, and knowledge. You'd be surprised how many folks out there just don't have access to things that we readily have access to in this country. So, for example, I developed an autism spectrum disorder e-learning program for healthcare professionals in Ghana as part of my dissertation work. I assessed their knowledge about autism, and then I designed the e-learning program and interviewed doctors, nurses, and psychologists to see if it was culturally relevant, applicable to their job, and if it was user friendly. And I also co developed, and I'm really proud of this. I co developed the first applied behavior analysis program at a historically Black college and university. Again, increasing access to ABA education for historically minoritized and marginalized students. I've also co-authored a chapter in the APA Handbook of Behavior Analysis with my colleagues, and it focuses on technology and equity and behavior analysis, and that should be coming out soon. And this is really the core of what I do. And currently, through my company, NeuroFusion Global, I'm continuing that work by expanding access to resources, services, and community for individuals who are part of the NDD population, but across the lifespan. Because what we tend to see is that there's a lot of resources out there for early intervention, which is what I used to do for the younger folks. Not a lot for the adults. Not a lot once you transition out of high school and you're an adult. The resources become more scarce. And so NeuroFusion, I will talk more about what I'm developing, but this is at the heart of NeuroFusion Global, and the work that I do is access and justice and equity.
And that's where my heart is as well. So again, we're not going to get anywhere in this world unless everybody has fair and equitable access, right? And that means meeting you where you're at, not you trying to meet the world where they are. And I think that's what we need to that's where the message needs to come across is I think we spend so much time trying to accommodate ourselves to the world instead of the world accommodating to us. And that's just not fair because we can't all, we're not all the same, right? And so, like you said, it's easier to catch somebody when they're younger and in those earlier stages of development. But what do you do for the adults who are struggling on a daily basis with just basic, life skills or basic life needs and necessities, and having resources and access to that in a way that we can reach them technologically for distance and equity and access
Mhm.
is just unbelievable. So can you tell us, please, a little bit more about neurofusion and how it's going to be utilized, like in your courses or in the community?
Sure. So in my work, about 20 years ago, I'm aging and dating myself, but about 20 years ago, when we would diagnose kiddos with autism, we would give them Autism Speaks 100-day toolkit for the parents and then send them on their way. And what I would hear from parents all the time is, okay, you've given me this PDF or this flyer, but what do I really do? I've got this diagnosis. I have this, a child that is delayed in various developmental milestones. What do I do? Who do I go to? And so I would sit with them and talk with them about the different services around, but we didn't have the technology for them to Google it, or, it was all word of mouth. Now, parents come to me and say, well, I Googled this and I Googled that and I got 100 results. How do I tell what is evidence-based and what is not? What is quality and what is not? So a lot of caregivers and self-advocates and professionals, it's really trial and error about, what's out there. And it's a lot of time being wasted when we really could be just going to one place to find the things that we need that have been vetted, that are part of a community and are also being, what's the word? Being included and considered and vetted from a neurodivergent perspective. I am also neurodivergent. I have ADHD, and so which falls under the NDD umbrella as well. And so I really I wanted to develop something that had the NDD population in mind and at the core of the building of the technology and the access and what have you. So NeuroFusion Village is a national digital ecosystem designed to connect neurodivergent individuals, their families, and professionals. Again, like I said, vetted resources, services, and build community. A community of belonging. It's not just a Google where you go search. It's really a community where folks can talk to each other across, across disciplines, across diagnoses. Parents can connect with each other as well. Parents can connect with different service professionals. It'll be all in one place. And it's really about reducing the fragmentation people face when trying to navigate support systems. So the platform is designed to scale both nationally and eventually internationally and across the entire NDD lifespan. However, we're starting with a 12-month adult first pilot because adults are the most underserved group in the system. So right now we're actively looking for mission aligned partner investors to help launch and scale that work.
I love that, and what an investment that would be. So, if you're listening out there, we're needing investors for this. Absolutely, this is going to be amazing. I have a lot of autistic family members who are adults who struggled growing up because, again, in my time, they didn't have a name for a lot of the things that we were experiencing, that we were going through. Fast forward to now, and we have these incredible diagnostics and these assessments and these measurements and all these tools and resources and people available to actually guide you, like you said, in a longitudinal way from, along the lifespan, so that you don't walk alone, so that you're not struggling to find those answers, or to connect with others who are experiencing what you're experiencing, whether that's in a caregiver role or in a personal role or what have you, or maybe you're, a social worker or somebody outside of the family who's just looking to help connect. This is going to be an amazing resource out there. So is there, outside of what you're doing out, that is just completely amazing work, and you've talked a lot about your message and your mission and things that you're wanting to do and accomplish overall, but is there really an overall message from you that you would like
Yeah.
to convey to the audience?
Yeah, thanks for asking. That's a great question. Um, Shannon, at the end of the day, my work is about access, justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. We already have the science and tools to support individuals with autism and other neurodevelopmental disabilities. The challenge is that systems are fragmented and inequitable across the board. So, the message I want to leave people with is pretty simple. If we want real impact, we have to stop working in silos and start building connected, equitable systems that actually work for the people across the lifespan. And that's what I'm working toward with NeuroFusion Village. And it's going to take all of us across sectors to make that a reality.
Wow, Dr. Paula, that is truly some amazing work, and I can't wait to see more about it and learn more about it, as would our audience. So we're going to head on over to the Innovation Center and watch a demonstration on NeuroFusion Village right now. NeuroFusion Village is building the first national digital ecosystem designed to connect people, information, services, and trusted resources across the entire lifespan of neurodevelopmental disabilities, also known as NDDs. Hello, I'm Dr. Paula Danquah-Brobby, founder of NeuroFusion Global and creator of NeuroFusion Village. After more than 20 years working across clinics, universities, and communities, I continue to see the same problem again and again. Families, self-advocates, educators, and service providers are all trying to navigate a fragmented system. Helpful resources do exist, but they're scattered across different websites, organizations, and locations. People often spend hours searching and still aren't sure what information or services they can trust. NeuroFusion Village was created to bring everything together in one place. Our mission and promise:
At its core, NeuroFusion Village is built around 4 commitments: inclusion, accessibility, connection, and transparency. Every resource in the village is carefully reviewed and clearly sourced so individuals and families know they are getting reliable information, not misinformation or guesswork. Our guiding belief is simple: connection creates change. The 5 gaps. Our research and community engagement identified 5 major gaps affecting individuals with NDDs and those who support them. Local navigation. Families often struggle to find appropriate services in their own communities. Lifespan support. Services and resources frequently drop off as individuals transition into adulthood. Accessibility. Many resources exist, but remain difficult to access because of cost, geography, or design barriers. Culture. Services often fail to reflect cultural identity, language, and lived experiences. And finally, evidence. People need reliable information to help guide decisions about support and care. NeuroFusion Village was intentionally designed to help close these 5 gaps. The nexus, finding your path. Instead of overwhelming users with long directories or thousands of links, the nexus helps people find their path through the village. Users can begin by identifying who they are, such as self-advocates, caregiver or family member, service professionals, educators, higher ed students who want to work with this population, researchers and policymakers, and community partners. From there, the platform helps narrow results based on type of neurodevelopmental disability, lifespan stage, types of support or intervention you might be looking for, and your geographic location. The goal is simple: help people find the right information, services, and resources faster. Now let's explore the village. Once inside the village, users can explore curated resources designed to make navigation easier. Social and community space. Beyond information and services, NeuroFusion Village is also building a dedicated social and community space for adults with NDDs age 18 and older. This space will include discussion forums where individuals can share experiences and support one another, virtual events, workshops, and local community gatherings, peer support networks, and mentorship opportunities. And eventually, a dedicated social media environment designed specifically for adults with NDDs, focused on safety, belonging, and authentic connection. We've also included a growing FAQ section to help users quickly understand how the village works, including who can join, how resources are selected, and how to navigate the platform. And here we have the founder's story. That would be me. And you can learn more about my background and my story by visiting this website. You see, NeuroFusion Village represents a different approach, one that intentionally brings together science, lived experience, and community knowledge. Anyone can join the village by creating a simple profile. Once registered, users receive a personalized dashboard where they can save resources, receive recommendations, and engage with the community. Access to the village will always remain free for self-advocates and their families, while revenue will come from professional tools, training, and continuing education used by educators and service providers. NeuroFusion Village is still in its early stages, and we're actively building this ecosystem with the community. We'll take an adult-first approach, as adults face the most underserved and fragmented part of the NDD support system. The platform is intentionally designed to scale in two directions, horizontally across the nation and eventually internationally, and vertically across the entire lifespan. We're currently seeking mission-aligned partner investors who want to help bring this long overdue digital ecosystem to fruition. We'll start with a 12-month pilot in the DMV region, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Our goals for this pilot are clear and measurable. Within the first year, we aim to curate more than 300 vetted adult-serving resources across health, housing, and employment, engage over 1,000 adult users on the platform, achieve a 60% connection rate, meaning users successfully linked to at least one support system, and partner with 20 or more organizations that adopt the platform as their primary navigation hub. Partner investors will help us launch and execute this pilot while building the foundation for national scale. If you're interested in learning more or investing in the village, please contact us at info@neurofusionglobal.com. Again, that's info@neurofusionglobal.com. Together, we can build a future where connection truly creates change.
Oh, you get my heartstrings every time, and I just love that message right there hits me home. It's really close to home because I'm with you. I'm doing the same thing, building a community, building a network, building it, trying to do it interdisciplinary, trying to do it intercollegiately, trying to do it interinstitutionalized. I'm trying to do it globally, right? Because the whole purpose is to be able to take something and replicate it in a way that it's going to be useful for others, but not limit them in who they are. So it's applying, who they are to that as well. And I think a lot of us, that are working in ed tech, and have been, it's the joy of learning how technology can really assist us in areas where we did not have that assistance before. But it's also a stumbling time, right? Just like just like babies that grow. There's those crawls and those steps and those walks, and before we run, and so we're all kind of walking on that path right now. So I really appreciate you, and all that you are doing in your community and for everybody's community, because this translates everywhere. It doesn't stop with where you're at. It only continues to multiply. And so we're just so lucky. What would be the best way for the audience or potential investors to get in contact with you?
So there's two ways. The first way is neurofusionglobal@gmail.com. That's neurofusionglobal@gmail.com. The second way is info@neurofusionglobal.com. Again, info@neurofusionglobal.com.
Wonderful. And you heard it, folks. We have addresses, we'll have QR codes ready for you to go ahead and scan, so that you can invest, so that you can look, so that you can immerse yourself in this beautiful design and platform that we have going on. I've enjoyed our conversation today. I could talk to you just because you're a personal friend as well all day long. I could just live in your space all of the time. But I'm very curious, as everyone has one, who inspires you, and tell me why.
Wow, that's an amazing question. And it's a question I don't think about very often, I guess, because we're always going, kind of on the hamster wheel. But I'm deeply inspired by my maternal grandfather, J.B. Danquah. He's no longer with us, but he is one of the founding fathers of the Ghanaian independence movement. Ghana was colonized by the British, and was my grandfather was a part. They called him the Big Six, so he was part of the Big Six, and they worked tirelessly to free Ghana from colonial rule. His work was rooted in advocacy, truth, and commitment to justice, and that shaped how I show up in my work. And he's the reason I'm committed to advocating for individuals and communities who have been historically marginalized, minoritized, racialized, and just denied access to opportunities, resources, and support. So I'm always, always going to, help the underdog, the voiceless, the disenfranchised. Like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to scream the loudest because not on my watch. So I'm really inspired by my grandfather, and he actually died for the cause. So his blood and his legacy runs through me.
And I'm trying to fight back tears here. That is, it's amazing. It's to know the strength that you come from, and the people, your ancestors, and the people that come before you to pave that way. Imagining what they go through in their time, and what you're going through in your time, and that the struggle is different, but it's still real, and it's there every day.
Mhm.
And things hasn't really changed, right?
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
is the time. I know everybody hears me say it all the time too. It's time to burn it down and start it all over with, because it wasn't right in
Yes.
the first place, right? So
Mhm.
not everybody wasn't at the table. Not everybody's voice is still not at the table, right? And we're not able to care for each other in the way we should be able to, like communities do. And that's something we need to learn, and pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
So I am just so inspired by you. I want you to
Thank
know that as
you.
well. Any minute that I get to spend with you, to learn from you, to soak in the knowledge, just the energy and the love, I appreciate it. So I know the people out there are going to love to be able to connect with you as well. Dr. Paula, thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
your time with me today. It means so much, and sharing your story. You are absolutely our inspiration of the month. Please make sure to check out Dr. Paula's website or contact her at the information on the screen to learn more. Up next, DIY Corner. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned after this commercial break.
Inspirational by Design and Breakaway Games have partnered to offer virtual escape room courses. These courses leverage advanced educational technology to deliver immersive and practical learning experiences. Each virtual escape room course is designed to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application. A significant emphasis is placed on developing essential skills such as critical thinking, collaboration, and independent learning through the simulation of real-world challenges. The courses are highly adaptable, designed to be customized to complement classroom learning or for professional development events. This versatility makes them suitable for a wide range of educational and corporate settings. The courses are built around practical scenarios and cover a wide range of disciplines. The virtual escape room course experience is dynamic and varied, infusing educational technology into clinical simulation training. This includes cutting-edge tools such as AI, virtual simulated patients, gaming simulators, AR/VR, and custom web app simulators. The multimodal approach is tailored to your curriculum and caters to different learning styles. Let's take a look at what we've already created for you. The Community Health Challenge course for nursing students applies classroom learning to public health challenges, covering topics like population health and epidemiology and social determinants of health. This technological sophistication creates highly realistic and immersive learning environments. Keep participants engaged by incorporating simulation practice, pre-brief videos, investigation challenges, realistic news footage, AI videos and chatbots, puzzles, games, and more. The learning extends beyond the immediate challenges. Each course concludes with debriefing, self-reflection, and a certificate of completion. The inclusion of scores and reports further supports performance evaluation and evidence-based feedback. The benefit to all of this? This is the most efficient and economical alternative or supplement to traditional training methods. And all from the convenience of home. So why wait? Schedule your free 15-minute consultation and let's discuss your needs today.
And welcome back to the Inspiration and Innovation Hour, brought to you by Inspirational by Design. I am again your host, Shannon Scandoza. Thank you so much for tuning in again. To prepare for this segment and play along using the latest education technology, please scan the QR code for the AIM EdTech Lab. As a reminder, we are not being paid, nor are we paying others to promote products and services used in these segments. Thank you so much for joining me today in our EdTech DIY corner. Once you've opened the AIM EdTech Lab, click on the Healthcare Faculty Simulation Educator button and then navigate to DIY corner. Scroll down to find AI and choose Anthropic's Claude. Now, I have a paid version and I use it frequently to create simulators without code or coding experience. However, you should still be able to build a simple simulator with the free version of this as well. Today's innovation topic in EdTech is related to Autism Awareness Month and emotional regulation for adults. Our objective today is for you to learn how to build an emotional regulation simulator and embed it in a Google Site module. And at the end of this segment, you will be able to do just that. Let's watch the demo.
In honor of Autism Awareness Month, I wanted to build a gamified platform for adults and include an emotional regulation web app simulator. So I go to Claude and enter a prompt in the chat box indicating that I would like to build a no-code interactive video game for autistic adults. It asks me what the primary purpose of the game is, and I can choose from multiple options. But for this demo, I chose emotional regulation. It then asks me what type of interaction style I would like, and I chose visual scheduling/sequencing for this simulator. And the last question it asked was very helpful for sensory considerations. I chose predictable structure, so there are no surprises for the learner. Once I hit enter, Claude's Sonnet 4.6 gets to work. It includes each step of the simulator. Step 1, name the feeling. Step 2, body check. Step 3, choose a strategy, and Step 4, my calm down plan. It reinforces the design choices we made earlier by indicating a predictable linear structure, large tap targets, back button accessible, and completion screen with affirming language. Just a tip, because simple HTML builders don't allow for embedding a video in the simulator, you can always use another game builder like Interacti or create your own video in HeyGen AI or another video generator. A few more clicks and we are on our way. Let's see what we created. Wow, this is awesome. As a reminder, you always want to test your app and make sure it is doing what you built it to do. Now let's move on. What I want to do is create an emotional regulation module in Google Sites and embed our new simulator. First, I want to copy the HTML code so I can embed it. Next, I want to create a Google site and build out a module. I name the site Emotional Regulation Game and begin my customization features. I search through Google Images and upload a picture for my header. Now I'm ready to embed my emotional regulation simulator in my site. Use the HTML code we copied earlier from Claude. Copy and paste directly into the embed code box and click on Next. A preview of your simulator will appear in the box. Please note that if there is an error message in the box after you hit Next, you will have to go back and recopy the code and try again. Now that it has been inserted into the site, you can adjust the size to fit your needs. Next, we want to test it in the site, just to be sure all buttons are functioning and all options are available. Immediately, I am able to play the simulator and assess my emotional needs. The visual emoticons and sliding scale are easy to interpret and use. I click on Next, and the second step offers a body check. Where am I feeling this in my body? I chose all that apply and click on Next. The third step lets me choose an intervention or calming strategy, from breathing exercises to a walk in the park. It's all up to you. Click on Next to proceed. And last but not least, my calm down plan appears with a beautifully captured summary and follow-up action item. The only thing left to do is click on I'm ready, and then I can start my day. Perfect. I now have a site prepped and a simulator built. But what else can I add? I actually had a few ideas. I want to add information about the key benefits of gaming for autistic adults, so I add a section to my page and paste the information into the text box. Next, I want to add links and information to some external games that I think will be calming and relaxing, So I head over to NeuroNav and seek out some options. Once I have the information I need, I go back to my site and create a try-box section with gaming information and links. And just like that, I have an emotional regulation module ready to go. Since credibility is everything in our world, we researched this particular topic and found an article by NIH advocating for the use of gaming for autistic adults. We are going to add a link to the article and include a snapshot of the abstract as well. And that's it. We are ready to publish. Now, let's take a look at what we've built. You can continue to build out your site by customizing the look and feel for your learners. You can add graphics, embed videos, players, and games, and so many other things. There's no limit to your creativity. Scan the QR code to check out the site we built today.
Interactive games give autistic adults something words alone often can't: a predictable, low-pressure structure that makes the invisible process of emotional regulation visible and doable. For many autistic adults, the hardest part isn't wanting to regulate, it's knowing where to start. A sequenced game removes that barrier entirely. It says, start here, then here, then here. That kind of clarity in itself is calming. When regulation is broken into named steps, identifying the feeling, check the body, choose a strategy, follow the plan, it becomes a repeatable skill, not a mystery to solve in the middle of a difficult moment. And because the learner is making every choice themselves, it builds something just as important as the skill: confidence. Games also meet autistic adults where they are. No performance, no social pressure, just a quiet, consistent tool they can return to again and again until the steps start to feel like their own. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the show today. We hope you enjoyed it. Come back and visit us next time. We'll have some awe-inspiring guests joining, and you won't want to miss it. Have an inspirational day. Do you have an inspirational story or innovation in healthcare that you would like to share? If so, go to our website under Web Series and Podcast tab and click on the link to fill out the form.